Everyone, my name is Mr. Mohamed Bouchri, and in the previous tutorial, we're highly focused on the request, the post request, okay, and how we can sanitize the data that we get and then save it inside our database. But today's tutorial, we're actually going to see how we can query from the database. So currently, if we make a GET request, we only get the response. This is a GET request. Okay, so we are about to change that. So let's go inside our view, and actually let me minimize this. Okay, so we're going to work with this. So like I'm saying, Django actually focuses on ORM. Okay, so what we're actually going to do is we're going to call this reporter goes to the reporter class, and it will do objects dot all. This is actually going to fetch everything from the database for us, okay? And then what we're actually going to do next is we want to check whether this is an empty list, which is an empty array, or it has data, okay? So we say if len and then reporter, for instance, is greater than 0, we want to implement something, okay? So let's define this array over here. Let's call it an empty string, an empty array or an empty list. Okay. So we're saying if the reporter dot length is greater than what? If the length of this reporter, which is all the information that we are fetching from the database, if it's actually an empty array, we'll return the what? The empty array. So if it's not an empty array, we'll do something. Okay, we'll do something else. We'll just return JSON array. We'll pass save as false. Okay, so this is all that we are doing. If whatever information we have over here is not an empty array and the length is actually greater than, how do you call it, 0, we want to do something. Okay, so what do we want to do? So we'll say, for instance, for item inside the reporter, and then some people may go by saying, for instance, let's call this object, okay, goes to, and then they will pass, for instance, the ID, which goes to the item.id. Okay, then you have like the full name, which goes to item.full name, and then you have, for instance, the email, which goes to item.email. Okay, and then when we are done, we just append it to the array. So we say array.append, and I'll pass the object in there. Okay, so if we save this and then we make a new GET request, we actually get what? Our JSON. Okay, so we first saved Mustafa blah blah blah, and then we have this invalid data, which we'll later delete, okay, because this is not valid data. And then we have the next one, which is a valid data. Okay, the email are valid. This is an invalid email, and this is also what? A valid email with name and everything. Okay, so let's go back. So this is one way we can go about things. Okay, but instead of writing the whole of this, there is another way we can write this. Okay, so what we can actually do is we can actually import a particular function, okay, which is from Django dot forms dot module. Okay, you want to import module to dictionary. Okay, So instead of me writing this, what I'll rather do is, let me comment this out. I'll simply write object goes to, and then I'll just pass module to dictionary, and then I'll pass the item in there. That's all. So if we save this and then we run, we make a get request, we actually get the same thing. Okay, we actually get exactly the same thing. So instead of us writing it this way, we can actually go about it this way. Of course, there are times when this become handy. Going about this particular way, going about things in this particular way becomes handy. Okay, but I just want you to know that as much as you can go about things this way, you can actually go about things this way too. Okay, so thank you for watching this tutorial, and then in the next one we are going to see how we can make get a get request to get a single item, or make a post request or a put request to update that item, and how we can also make a delete request. So thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope it's helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.